Without further ado, Coach Mike Leach.
All right, can you hear? All right. Well, I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to be in the middle of this mini coaches. I'm quite amazed that after all this recruiting season that you guys would want to actually see any college coaches, because you'll probably be glad when we get the hell out of the schools and quit pestering you. But no, hey, without you, none of it works, because you guys develop the players and make them fired up and interested about football, and that's what allows the whole thing to roll, and that's the most important part of it. Anyway, so tonight I'm going to talk about practice schedule, and it's kind of tricky because nowadays any plays that we've run for the last several decades are all on the internet, so a lot of you guys know them and can teach some of them as well as I can, and but I think practice schedule affects everybody, and then we do some things off of vertical routes that not everybody does that may be helpful. But in the midst of this, if you guys have any specific question or something that you really want to know about, I mean, I'm happy to talk about anything we do. I'm not a particularly secretive guy. With all due respect to those of you who do this, I never do this. I never talk here because, they might read my lips. I've never met a lip reader, but evidently there's a lot of them out there because all these coaches cover their mouth, and despite the fact that during spring and in camp, they go ahead and call plays with their teams and run plays with their teams, somehow the other team they're about to play is a lot smarter. And so somebody, the lip reader, is going to immediately get the message of what you said in your terminology, which could be very different than the other guys, but in your terminology. It's like the magic bullet, okay? And then he is somehow going to tell, say, the defensive coordinator on the other team, what you called, who's thereby going to get it to the play caller, who then clearly, without any error whatsoever, is going to convey that to 10 other players, and then they're going to execute with precision, immediately pouncing on whatever it is you just called. Okay, so if you want to know about that, you're going to have to ask somebody else. Okay, so, well, anyway, practice schedule. Here's how we practice. And we honestly talk as much about practice schedule and the best way to practice, best way to go about it, more than we really do plays. I mean, we're kind of a group that'll tag a play or maybe attach a route to a play, try to make it in common with something that we're already doing, so that the adjustment by our players isn't too difficult, and we want this to happen as quickly as possible. And so everything we do in practice is designed to be the best approach that we can think of to teach and transfer the skills to our players that we need. And so we're constantly taught, how can you do it faster? How can you do it better? How can you do it clearer? How can you do it, and to simplify it? And so we're constantly trying to simplify it. Anyway, so this is a picture of our practice schedule, which clearly nobody can read, okay? Now, if you have that good of eyes, you'd make one of those lip readers, up there in the damn box. Okay, so I'll tell you what this says, though. This is our longest practice of the week. It's a Tuesday practice. We go an hour and 50 minutes. So to give you an idea for spring ball or camp, it's a version of this, except we'll go about 2 hours and 20 minutes. We'll go about half an hour further, more reps in the period, some, that type of thing. So this is like kind of the ultimate base of what our practice schedule is, okay? And then Wednesdays is so Sunday it's helmets and shorts, full speed, goes less than an hour. I want them to look at what the opposing defense is gonna do. We'll work on checking some plays, running some plays that we like. Monday's our off day. Tuesday, this is our heaviest day. Wednesday's a heavy day minus a period. Thursday's helmets and shorts again, goes about an hour, full speed. And then we got a series of meetings and walkthroughs on Saturday. But this is the core of spring football, camp. This is the best representation of us teaching what we do. And so I can't stand having anybody stand around. I want it fast. I think that if it's not fast, you're teaching something, but you're not necessarily teaching execution. And obviously, the faster you get it, the better, because it's very difficult to truly get it as fast as, during a game. But you want to come as close as you can. So warm-up wise, they'll come up there, and we're not a stretch team. Our deal is you want to stretch, you stretch in the meeting room, you stretch in the back of the line, you stretch whenever you want, but you're not going to come out there on the field while imagining yourself to be the greatest football player on earth and for 20 minutes get a wet spot on your ass working on doing all these stretches that I've never been able to do anyway, but maybe some of you. And so, but we do want to warm up. We do want to warm up, so we'll do some low tempo drills there at the beginning, where we're working on catching, stance, and we want the technique perfect. If you can't do it perfect, 1/4 speed, there's not a chance in hell you can do it perfect full speed. I'll end up wanting to keep referencing this, but yeah, trust me, it carries on. You ever see Sarah Marshall, where they have the Forgetting Sarah Marshall? Okay, you guys got to look this up. This is exactly how to not communicate as a football coach. And I watch it every so often to remind myself that this is not how you want to communicate. And occasionally you run across some coaches that are like this guy. Now, this is how to not be. It's called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Look up the scene, lasts about 2 minutes, the surfing lesson. And so then there's the surfing guy trying to describe how to surf. Now, the better we can be with our words and the clearer, the better team we're going to have. So we'll warm up. We'll do something low tempo. We'll have blitz pickups, some run stuff. Pat and goes half speed. So now we're picked it up to half speed to 3/4 speed. So we're warming up our muscles. Then we do quick game, and so it'll be the quick game that we're working that particular day. Routes on air, which is my favorite drill ever. Team screens, these will be the screens and any gadgets that we have going in that week. Then we have one-on-one inside here. Special teams, I like 2 special teams periods just because it breaks it up. And the transition alone to special teams, I think, is something that needs to be taught. Boom at special teams. Everybody hustles to special teams. Pascal. Ours are longer than some. During camp and during spring, we'll have 2 Pascals if we have enough people. Then team, and then post-practice. Okay, so this is one play that we're we're big into verticals. We like verticals. And the reason I like verticals is because, see, I think at some point in time, a vertical's always open. At some point in time, a vertical's always open. Like, for example, if I'm even with the guy, I want the ball over the outside shoulder, keep the DB pinned, put the ball over my outside shoulder, I protect the ball with my body, and I catch it. Okay, the other thing is if the guy over pursues, we want to throw it to the ass cheek away from coverage and catch it. And so we want to, in order to make them wrong, no matter what you do, you have to be able to execute these skills. And it's harder to execute than it is to actually get open. And then if they're really trying to take advantage of something like playing too far off or playing too loose, then we can tag routes, anything from hitch to stop to slant, something like that. And then the inside receivers on this we want, they're going to push to 10 yards. Push to 10 yards and then make a decision. And that 10's kind of relative, but when you get to 10 yards, start thinking about what you're going to do. Okay, and if you have a clear path straight ahead, you run. If you have a hole, you sit, and you can adjust it in or out. And that's the same with the other side. Okay, and then here, the back, and we'll play fake them some. They're going to basically replace the football, run an option route, turn their ass to coverage. If they're open, stay there. If they're not open, then burst. Okay, out of trips, which really I think's better in a lot of cases. Same thing that I described with the vertical here with the single receiver. Okay, and the general landmarks, and it is general, but they have to be going generally that way, but while avoiding coverage there, a little outside the hash, a little inside the hash, you're open, that's fine. Okay, so the number 3 receiver, he's going to have the opposite hash. He hauls ass. As soon as he comes to a window, look. When should he look? As soon as he comes to a window, look. Quarterback sees he's going to come to a window, deliver the ball. And what you'll find on film, if you just run film, it doesn't matter who's running the verticals, anybody running the verticals, you'll get to see they're open all the time, but they're not all open always the same place or at the same time. So then what you need to do is, as coaches, we need to try to coach and teach our guys so that they can execute to take advantage of that. Okay, the number 2 receiver here, this is his hash, and depending where the ball's at and whether it's on the opposite hash or the middle, he may have to work in a little bit, but he's going to have this hash either inside it or outside of it, but basically this area here, this quarter, and then same thing. If he doesn't have a hole, run. If he does have a hole, sit. Okay, and then, the vertical route here. Okay, so, okay, so to begin practice, we do blitz pickup, and I think that's one of our more important periods because it's recognition. And I don't particularly care if a team blitzes or don't blitz. I mean, they get their 11 guys. They can do whatever they want with their 11 guys. We don't have any control over that. And there's so many things in football you don't have control over. If you worry about what you can't control, you're going to waste a lot of your time. So we don't have any say whether they blitz or whether they drop. And in our case, usually what a team will do is they're going to come in, they're either going to pressure us or they're going to drop people. And then if we have any success against it, then they'll do the opposite. And then if we keep having success, then they'll alternate between the two of them to try to keep us off balance. But the most important thing is to recognize it, have the ability to recognize it. Because the worst thing in the world is if they can make you squander a half before you recognize it. And then, okay, so, and this is when they just get out there. They've done a few little warm-ups, and there's a number of drills, and you probably want to move on to the better stuff. If you don't, we can go through all these. I'm happy to talk about it. But, and then, so this is scout defense. We put them in our opponents, what we think we're going to see, and then they'll adjust the hot game to this. Okay, sometimes it's going to be to tag a route here. Sometimes it's going to be, if a guy vacates to run something here. But just very slow, low tempo, a lot of teaching, and we'll go through a bunch of looks. And it'll be, basically our passing game going into that week. Okay, if we do it, if it's during camp or during spring football, we deal with a third, like a third of our runs, a third of our screens, a third of our quick game, a third of our drop back. And so what they're going to do is just run routes, half speed while we're getting the look that we want. Linebacker vacates, we have a window here, throw it here. And then the other thing, one thing that's very good on blitz, if they're pressed, I'll put it over the top here. because you can get it off before they can get here. That's very good too. And so, in some of it depends what you're after. We may value more there are things differently than you, but whatever your package is that you're working on it, here it is, vertical, against your various opponent, you know, based on the blitz, we want to put the ball in play where we think it's most advantageous to us. Okay, so other things that we like in blitz situations, I mean, in our 90s, we'll have our 90s is our deep drop. We'll have a couple blitz adjustments. But, you know, stuff I like screens depending where they're playing. I like stuff like, you know, these two guys slant, he runs a corner. You know, just trying to devise ways to get where they're not, where you can put it on them quickly. And if you're doing a good job versus man coverage, which we were kind of mixed this last year, you know, we're a young group but getting better. You know, if you put it on them and put it on their upfield shoulder and they keep running, it's a big play. You know, other things we have kind of a stick route we do out of this. This guy runs a post, he runs a wheel, he sticks, the back goes here. You know, any of those things. And then, you know, people often talk about our Y cross. You know, this guy, like some Tampa thing, he can sit. If he blitzes right here, he looks for the ball. And then we can adjust the outside guys as well. So we cover that during blitz period. Okay, pat and go, and okay, we use this to warm up. We use it to warm up. They're now going, you know, kind of 3/4 speed, striding it out, you know, continuing to get loose. But as long as they're going to get loose, there might as well be a ball out there. We might as well be chasing a ball. We look at it that way. And then, and so a lot of people run this in this configuration, but we're kind of, we're a little obsessive about, you know, the technique we want them to do. So this will be, the first phase of it is kind of like 3-step. The quarterback's, his arm's not quite loose yet. We call it pat and go because he pats the ball, then the receiver goes. But so he'll pat the ball, 3-step drop. They're working with him on his release out here, and then let the ball go. Okay? And so he's getting warmed up. He runs it over to this line, tosses it to this quarterback, gets in this line, brings it back this way. Okay, we do that for under 10 minutes. And what we'll do is we'll just split the time. So we start out inside where they're kind of running the hot slants. Okay, then we'll move them out here 3 steps. Then we'll move them to this side, the slants. Move them out here 3 steps. And just so we cover, you're catching the ball over both shoulders, your left and your right. You're facing in on kind of a slant look like that. Quarterbacks are loosening their arms, you're loosening your legs. And we get a lot of balls thrown. And the other thing that is a big deal to us, which it's very hard to see, I know, we want these guys to put air on the ball, sometimes artificially too much air, because if the quarterback is right here, throwing it to me, we want to keep the corner pinned, look it over the inside shoulder, catch it over the outside shoulder, because see, this same ball can be caught this way, which then the DB can contest the ball. Or it can be caught this way where the DB can't contest the ball. And if he does, it has to be major pass interference that, not all, but 2/3 of the officials can get. And then, so we want it high because we want this receiver to work on transitioning his eyes as the ball comes over his outside shoulder. I was hoping there'd be more cuts of this. Okay. And we want it high enough that he does have to work on transitioning his eyes. And quarterbacks, sometimes they think they have super arms, want to show those things off. Look, the more air you're able to put on a ball, and it's safe, gives the receiver all kinds of time to adjust to it. All of a sudden some guy, oh, it's amazing how accurate he is. Yeah, it's also amazing how much more accurate you are if at times where you can, you put air on the ball. Okay, then we go to quick game. And so, okay, quick games like this, and I'm kind of doing this in the context of the verticals, but just so you know, because everybody runs verticals, but just so you know, I mean, any of our plays we can incorporate in that. So in the blitz period, any of our plays, whatever our hot considerations are, we'll do that during blitz period, and we'll make it slow so we can teach it, they understand. Okay, if there's a play that we don't want the play under any circumstances, that's almost never the case, but if we don't want the play under any circumstances, we'll present the look, and then the quarterback checks out of it, where he's rehearsing, hey, no, this is the look they told me about. I'm checking out of it. Okay, and then pat and go is mainly for the look in, slant, quick, or over the outside shoulder, as I talked about. And because, I think verticals are a little harder to execute than, well, I think they're definitely harder for most people to execute than horizontal routes. So constantly working and harping on that technique. Okay, so then this is quick game period. And so, I mean, we can do all the stuff you've seen on film. We can run stick routes. We can run corner slants. We can run a fade with a flat. We can run hitches, and we'll do that during this period. Now, we can run slants. Okay, but for the purposes of verticals, we have 4 quarterbacks throwing. 4 quarterbacks throwing, and if they're in the gun, really I just want them to reset their feet. I don't want some 3-step drop, 1 long, 2 short. No, reset your feet. And I think the best way for their feet is I like the front foot open. If it's like this, I'm great at seeing here, but I can't see this very well. Well, you can just sort of cheat that thing so you can see here really good, and you can see this well as well. And then, we want the feet under the armpits. Okay, so then, so this guy, he's going to run vertical just normal, and again, we're going to stress the catch over the outside shoulder. Sometimes we'll run stops here where they go really fast, and I want them to put their toe in the ground and turn quickly without. I'm not huge on over pitter-pattering the feet. Some guys really like this. I don't. I go up, here's the corner, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Well, look, I mean, anybody in the stands knows, oh, I'll bet you he's going to do something different, and so I want them to open up as quickly as they can. And so we'll work on that here too. If we're going to run comebacks, we'll work on that here too. Okay, and then the guys in the yellow jerseys, they represent the safeties. So we're working on this read by the inside receivers. Okay, he runs past this guy because he doesn't have a hole. He runs past this guy because he doesn't have a hole. This guy catches it over his outside shoulder, and that's really pretty good technique here. So he looks in, good air on the ball, catch it over the outside shoulder. And, well, he does it up here too. And then, all right, same thing with trips. Doing it out of trips. The angles are different because, this guy, his landmark's here. And what I like about this is running across here, and they'll have their defenders do all kinds of things. They'll drop these guys. They'll blitz one. They'll have some guy over here. They'll drop this guy and tamper the thing. In other words, there's going to be windows created. As soon as he comes to a window, we want him to look, and then the quarterback put it on him. Okay, this is the safety drops here. So he's got a natural big hole. We don't want to give that up. Sit there and catch it. This guy's catching it over his outside shoulder. So's he. Same thing here. Okay, here the safety. pretending to be in his hole, so he continues to run. Same thing here, catch it over the outside shoulder. And the other thing, and this drives me crazy, and it's a point which I didn't think about and emphasize as much this year, and you guys will want your money back, you know, just by me offering something this simple alone. You know, these guys nowadays, their hands are all over the place. You know, the guy thinks he's got to catch it here. The guys that drive me the craziest are the ones that start here and then do the hand flip stuff. I mean, these hands are everywhere. Their hands are utterly everywhere. Look, as much as possible, there are two ways to catch a ball. There are two. Anywhere that you can, including jumping or as low as you can go here, you want to catch it in your hands. That is the quickest way. First of all, it's the quickest way to catch it. You can catch it out in front of your body, and then you can tuck it quicker that way too, thereby getting upfield quicker. Second way, pinkies together. So it's either this or pinkies together. Okay, when do you catch with pinkies together? Well, ball over my outside shoulder, pinkies together. Too low to do this, pinkies together. Okay, and then, well, then of course there's the emergency deal too, where it's thrown way too far. Try to get both hands there, can't. You just catch it any way you can, dive, lay out, whatever. Okay, but that's an emergency situation. And if you're always having emergency situations, you're going to be a pretty shitty team. And okay, routes on air, my favorite drill, has been for years. This is my favorite drill of all. Hang on a sec. Let's see what play we got here. All right, this is a good one. Okay, so depending who you play, and we'll start out with basic stuff in camp. Depending who you play, whatever zone they're in, it can be 4 across, quarter half, Tampa, 3. I mean, everybody's got all the different terms they like to use. Cover 2. Whatever configuration that their zone drops are going to be. So, and you know, this isn't where these guys are going to line up. This is approximately, in our mind, where these guys are going to drop to, okay? And so what we have is we have a receiver lined up at every position. Because as a receiver, I mean, you hate nothing worse than running a great route and you don't get a ball, okay? Well, I want them to get balls. So we have 5 quarterbacks going. And if you don't have a quarterback, you know, have the coach or the manager that throws it better than the other guy. Okay, so we have 5 quarterbacks here. Everybody's running a route. Everybody's running a route. Okay, then, and this is set up specifically to illustrate zones. We're a team that if you come to a hole, we want you to sit. Okay, if you're being chased, we want you to continue to run. Some do it different, but we sit in zone, run versus man. And this is where, you know, we're teaching these receivers, you sit here or you run here. Okay, this is where you sit. This play, there'll be something like this. Here you sit, okay? Quarterbacks, all 5 quarterbacks get balls. All 5 receivers run around. Okay, we got Weissale going here. Okay, and then, okay, he runs past the corner before the safety's gotten over. He runs his angle route. He runs a post dig route here, and into this hole here. Okay, so, well, all 5 of them catch balls. I like that part. Okay, then the other thing is not only do all 5 catch balls, as soon as they catch a ball, they come racing back on the sidelines. The next set of receivers are up. So we can rapid fire these things. Nobody's standing around. They catch a ball, turn and go straight upfield, come back down the sidelines. The next ones are up. And we keep doing that over and over again. And we can get through, well, it would be 6 plays. Now, sometimes you have to consider their legs. Later in the season, during the season, you've got to consider their legs. But we can get through our 6 drop back plays 5 times a piece in 10 minutes, okay? But it's rapid fire, okay? And so, well, okay, now everybody gets a ball, but here's what I like even better about this. Okay, depending on how you want your guys to read the play. Okay, first reads this vertical. So, second reads this sail. Third read is this angle. Fourth read is this dig. Fifth read is this back. Okay. Now, and I like when these quarterbacks bunch together because, you know, some of those guys when they first get there, first of all, they don't drop back straight. Second of all, you know, I like them to feel a little crowded, like there's stuff going on around them. Okay. The other thing with these quarterbacks, you know, if I'm the quarterback with the first read, as soon as I hit my last step, my ball should be gone. Okay, then I want his eyes, so he practices, you know, so he gets mental practice. Eyes on the second read, the third read, the fourth read, the fifth read. Okay, and then, okay, and let's say I have the fifth read. I go back, I hit my last step. My eyes should be on the first read, second read, third read, fourth read, fifth read, then I throw the ball. Okay, now, I can't stand back there. That's me right there. See? Right here. Okay, very distinguished. You know, beginning to become an older gentleman, probably dipping tobacco, trying to look at where their eyes are the best I can. Okay, and and you're saying, well, you can't see where all their eyes are, which that's true. But you want these balls basically delivered in order. This guy let his ball go right away. This is the second read. Okay, that's the third read. Fourth read, fifth read. That guy's probably a little fast. But you can, if the balls are delivered in the relative order that they should be, then odds are high that your quarterbacks went through their reads. So we're teaching them to go through their reads, and then okay, so first rep, okay, he throws. Okay, now they rotate down one, he rotates over here. Okay, I had the first read first time. Now I have the second read. Then the next one, now I have the third read. Now I have the fourth read. Now I have the fifth read. Now, so when you're teaching a play, and you're really saturating and emphasizing the play, every quarterback throws to all 5 routes in the play. Every receiver has a ball thrown to him, all 5 routes in the play. And teaching the quarterback to get his eyes where they should be. And at least in my case, I don't know about you guys, you're never getting out of the business of getting their eyes where they're supposed to be. I mean, that's like the holy grail. I mean, the better you are at it, the better your quarterbacks are going to be. But this business, you will constantly struggle as long as you coach football, at least in my case, to get their eyes where they're supposed to be. Okay, here's another route here. Well, this is one, I kind of like this one. Okay, first reads here, this corner route. Second read here, this post. Third read here, this angle. And on the backside here, we're running smash. Okay, again, everybody catches a ball. Quarterback emphasis on, and this is pretty close. He had the first read, he threw it. He had the second read, that's coming out second. This is coming out third. They're reading the smash on the backside. And then they continue to rotate through, new set of receivers, so you can make an awful lot of people catch an awful lot of balls awfully fast while still reinforcing their reads. And then, of course, all those coaches out there standing behind dummies and stuff are saying, you know, stick your toe in your ground when you come out of your sail. No, push your angle route a little further. You can't keep running. You came to a zone. Sit here, okay? team screens. Well, this was, in our case, a lot of what we do is taken from the old half line drill, way back when, going way back. You know, the half line run drill, split the screen in half. Okay, now we're doing the right side, you know, just the hitch screen, right side. Okay, this quarterback, we want this ball from the center's ass to the receiver's hands as quick as he can. Quarterback should just be the middleman. I'd like him to get it out a little faster. It's pretty fast, but a little faster. So he throws here on the right. Quarterback on the left, he throws on the left. And then we're working the blocks. You got to get a good block. If that's not a good block, we're complaining. Actually, it's a little worse than that. But and then you know, linemen doing what we call for them to do, play fake by the back. Okay, okay. Then the guy on the left, he goes and throws to the right. The guy on the right, he goes and throws to the left. So everybody's throwing one ball each side, so 2 reps to each side. And I do like the way we half line. Okay, here it is out of trips. You know, different blocking configurations, so still important to do. Center's ass, receiver's hands, pretty good. Make sure you cover them up, block them. Let's get a good look here. There's the line, there's the back. Now this side's turn, here they go. This is a bubble screen. And so usually we have about 16 different plays, or sides even. So like if it's right side, left side, we'll get it twice to each side, or just a play, we'll get each play twice. So basically 16 of them twice in 10 minutes, which, because that's the biggest thing. In order to have short practices, everybody's got to be moving fast. And I think the speed, the mentality of moving fast is as important as any of it. Okay, then releases. Now that's out of place. We do, nah, not really. It's not really. After screens is one-on-one receivers, DBs. Okay, so so up to this point, some of you line coaches might wonder, okay, the line, while we're doing, you know, you saw them during Blitz period. Okay, pat and go, quick game, routes on air, because I coached O-line for 10 years. And it's my favorite position. Okay, you want to have as much individual drill time as you can, O-line wise. And so the O-line all that time is doing, I think it's about half an hour. We can add it up on this thing. Okay, and then we come together for screens. Okay, then receiver DBs are one-on-one, offensive line and the defensive line inside, okay? So we always start out with this release drill. And it doesn't always look perfect, but it's pretty good emphasis. Okay, this line, we want him to be on a straight line, get past the DB, stack him. The DB's trying to prevent that. Both sides are coaching. Receiver coaches are coaching. Defensive back coaches are coaching. Use your hands, be violent with your hands. If we always do this every time, then, you know, these guys will just kind of autopilot and start going back before, you know, you even say hit. Well, then we'll slant it every so often just to keep him off balance. But he's trying to stack him. He's trying to pin his hip, obstruct, you know. And they'll work different techniques too. DBs will work different techniques here sometimes. Okay, then one-on-ones. Then we do one-on-one period. Okay, so whatever routes you have, and, you know, we talked about verticals, but, you know, saw Weiss sail, saw, you know, a post dig on there. I mean, a couple routes. and it was versus zone routes on air, which are great as far as mass-producing routes and throws. One-on-one, this is man coverage. You know, it's going to be man coverage. You know, can this guy whip this guy? Okay, this quarterback's going to throw, and then after he throws the ball, we want the play already called here. This guy already ready to snap and throw it so we can rapid fire this stuff. We don't want a bunch of wasted motion. Pretty good vertical route. He hangs him up a little. Always give him a reason to think you're going somewhere you're not. Keeps him pinned, catches it over his outside shoulder. His body shields the ball. Pretty good air on the ball. All right, another one there. He fell down. But his little burst here was helpful too. Air on the ball, catches it over the outside shoulder. And this is vertical. So any route within our package we'll call in one-on-one period. We're just talking some about verticals. If you're bored with that, we can talk about other stuff. But the thing is any route in our package, we'll run in one-on-one drill. And then, okay, goal line, I think the goal line, I don't think you have to do it in the red zone. We always do have a one-on-one period in the red zone. And the reason we do is because then I think the space condenses to the point where you know, you're best off to have a portion of this period on the goal line. So we start out open field. I like it about the 35-yard line because, you know, the quickest way for a quarterback to win one-on-one period is to go back there, pat the ball for about 6 seconds, then launch the ball 50 yards downfield, and to everybody's amazement, the ball's completed, okay? And then I want that space restricted. You don't get to just do pat, pat, pat. You're going to run out of space here, you know, and so I like to spot on about the 30 or the 35. Okay, right here, I like it on the goal line because, you know, first of all, it'll get real physical down here. And the other thing is, you are out of space. The other thing, your receivers need to foot fire at the line of scrimmage. They have to buy some time. You can't just run a route because by the time the quarterback gets the snap, throws the ball, you're already run out of the back of the end zone, okay? You have to buy time. See, buying time. I might go inside. No, I might go outside. I'm outside. See, gets it over the outside shoulder. Quarterback puts it on this cone, sort of. And we'll do all this stuff, slants, you know, fades, crossers. Here's another one, 6. We talked about 6. Foot fires, he's pressed. Give him a reason to think you're going somewhere you're not. Be violent with your hands. Yeah, pretty violent. Over the outside shoulder, not too bad. So, and then the quarterback's halfway through. I rotate them. I rotate the quarterbacks halfway through so that, you know, you're not just the right side guy the whole day. You know, halfway through, you're going to do the first half on the right. Now I'm going to rotate you. So now you're trading places. Same thing here. Got to buy time, buy some time. Wish he'd used his hands. He's trying to use his hands. It's a good reception, though. Block it up. Block it up. Blocking with receivers. You know, can be a real pain in the ass. First of all, you have to stay on their ass to block because in the receiver mind, they can easily convince themselves that blocking is for somebody else to do, that they're not required to block. In the back of their mind, they think they're just this much too good to block. Okay, you've got to expel that whole notion. I mean, you've got to destroy that thought. And we make a bigger deal out of guys getting big blocks than we do big catches. And And yeah, I've done the blocking drills all the different ways. You know, you go to the sled, you know, you put them on their knees and and have them dry hump the dummy, you know, and you know, the whole thing. You say, well, they're moving their hips. All right, well, that's great. Did he shoot his hands? Yeah, he shot his hands. Okay, and then, but nothing is quite as good as actual target. A lot of people think this is a screen drill. This isn't a screen drill for us. Call it what you want. If you like it for a screen drill, run it for a screen drill. We're still having the quarterback get from the snap to his hands as fast as possible. We have 3 receivers, 2 DBs. Okay, and the important thing to us is 2 of these receivers are going to block, 2 of these DBs are going to try to shed the receivers. Some teams are big into directional blocking. I'm really not. I just want this guy's body covered with our body. I want this guy's body here covered with a maroon jersey. If I'm behind here, I'd like to only see maroon, okay? And then, well, then they have to violently use their hands to shed blocks, which I think has definitely helped our DBs. And then this guy's really just, you know, I mean, if you're going to play chase, you have to have something to chase. Well, he's the guy to chase, you see. So they're blocking. And I don't like this. Like, don't let him catch it here and then just run in here where nobody is. No, that's not the point of any of this. Catch it, go straight upfield, take it upfield. Okay, and you want to be in, you know, great technique. You want to be in, you know, have all the power angles, the ankle, the knee, the hips, and then, you know, get your eyes on the target point and run your feet. Always run your feet. See, this guy quit running his feet. You know, you got to eat up that space. Run your feet. And we do it both sides. Okay, so you can, well, the way we do it, you can do it however you want, but okay, you can throw the ball to 1, 2, or 3, and so we secretly signal that. Okay, so the 2 receivers know they're blocking. Whoever he signals it's catching is catching it. We'll also do, you know, the bubble screen here like that too. All right, 7-on-7. Okay, so, and then now, if we have enough, we try to do 2. You know, you got a first pass skill with your, you know, kind of your 1s and 2 group, and then everybody else. We'll try to have another pass skill too. Have the GAs run another pass skill, and if you have enough, I think it's very beneficial because everybody running around either trying to catch a ball or trying to prevent a guy from catching a ball, I think is pretty good. And once in a while, and everybody knows how it goes, you know, the guy comes in, oh, I don't have any players, you know, we're just down, you know, and the whole thing. Well, look, you get a backup offensive guy and have him play defense if you have an extra guy, or, you know, if the guy's a linebacker, fine, he's not really a corner, but have him rotate playing corner so that, you know, so that 13 other people can play, you know. I mean, that's not that big of adjustment. Nothing drives me crazier than that. You know, some guy come in whining and says, well, he's out of guy. And then the other one that doesn't work for me very well, because, you know, these are, you know, usually your, you know, your kind of your walk-on 3s, 4 scout team guys. I mean, well, he had to go every rep. Okay, let me see. This guy is 18 to 22 years old, has to run 25 reps with a little bit of rest in between. Now, I don't know about you, but I say tough shit. I mean, go out there and fucking run. I mean, I can tell you to run a mile if I wanted to, you know, and learn to play when you're tired. But the thing is, you know, because there's always a little more room for us to get extra reps. And if one or two guys have to play out of position for 14 people to have an activity, I think it's worth it. So we'll have backup skill too, and then of course so you got your first two quarterbacks in the first skill, your second two quarterbacks in the other skill, and then they work on throwing strikes. Well, okay, so pass skill, and we have, okay, with our ones during camp or during spring football, we go 40 reps. During the season, we go 30. Okay, now one day is going to be we'll work open field, and then we'll work third and long, third and medium, third and short. Okay, the next day we'll work open field, and then red zone goal line. So a third of the plays in skill are either going to be third long or third down or red zone goal line. Okay, then the other thing, just from an organization standpoint, I'm showing you a Tuesday's practice, where that screen period is, on Wednesday, we do red zone goal line there, okay? Just to let you know how we organize the week. Okay, this is 6 again. Okay, this guy, he does a good job running. He sees a hole in there, which we conceivably could have hit him a little tight. This guy finds a hole here. And then the back, you'd be surprised how often the back's open. How often the back's open. Don't forget about the back. Okay, here's one. Got space. This guy's got space. Look. You come to space, look. Good job by the quarterback sticking him with the ball. Okay, here we got to stop. Could have hit him. This guy here, I don't like where he's at. This guy either needs to keep running or get this thing bent into here where, you know, there's a direct line of sight between him and the quarterback. This guy needs to run faster. Just run. Okay, you had a trip, same thing. Some people are doing this nowadays. Run the other guy, sit there still like you forgot the snap count, and kind of some delay reaction stuff. Okay, we want this guy here. Right when he crosses this window, he should probably catch the ball. This guy, he's good here. This guy did end up leveling him off, so that is an adjustment we'll do. Trips from the other side. Now this can be easy money here, especially attacking, you know, blitzes or, you know, drop schemes and stuff. Just hit it and stick him with the ball, you know. Like where this guy is. He's saying, I got a hole here. There he does. And then the back, you can do everything, all kinds of stuff with the back. You can swing him strong, swing him weak, and leak him out here, leak him out here. Then team, so then we put it all together in team. You know, here it is, all verticals in team. That's a nice throw and catch. Good job hitting him over the top. I wish he would have pushed him inside more. We gave up too much of the sideline. All right, and then same concept, and I like it very much versus, you know, 11 on 11. But the biggest thing is condition your guys. When you come to space, look. Like here, this guy looks. You know, he's got space. Look. You hit him. You know, upfield number, that's going to get you good yards if we hit him. Okay, this guy here, running vertical. Try to stack him up. Throw it over his outside shoulder. Catch it over your outside shoulder. Let's see if these guys did. That guy's getting his ass kicked. That guy there was okay. Like this guy here, you know, where's he open? Well, hit his ass cheek away from coverage. I mean, that's pretty good yards right there. Now, in the execution has to constantly be emphasized because the hardest thing is to execute it. Talking about it, finding space where you can complete balls, that's not so bad, but, you know, it's got to be kind of a constantly work to execute. Here's this guy. Comes to space. Look. There he's looking. We hit him. Here's this guy thinking about, this guy ought to give some thought to sitting here by the hash. Okay, 5 minutes left if you got one of those, well, we'll watch this one and then answer questions for 5 minutes. All right, another one. Okay, there you come to space, hit it. This is really good versus blitzes or drops, you know, like this guy. You know, plays, well, maybe I'll come down, maybe I'll go back. Well, we're going to try to go wherever you're not, you know. Okay, anybody got any questions that I can answer before I close up here? You know, our spring, we got spring, I believe it's March 25th through something like April 28th. Hope you guys come check it out. Has anybody got any questions? All right. Must have been the most boring damn speech ever. But, well, you guys are going to have a big time tonight, and, you know, at football clinics, everything's better with beer. Don't forget that. Unless you're speaking in the morning, then that's a little rough. But I wish you the best. It's an honor to be here. Your role in what makes football great is, I mean, it's irreplaceable. You know, everybody talks about, you know, some politician does this, some politician does that. Bullshit. You guys bring people together, save lives, all the rest. So, anyways, thanks for having me, and look forward to talking to you guys again sometime.